Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to a new edition of the Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter. And to the far right, I got my main man, KJ, former Clemson cornerback, 99 to 2002. And today's special guest, we got another Tiger in the house tonight. He's right now on the road, traveling with the Clemson Tigers baseball team. He's from Charleston, South Carolina. He pitches for the Tigers. He's a closer, former catcher. Y'all help me give it up for Mr.
Come on with it, man.
Garris.
Reed, what's up, Reed?
How we doing, guys?
Oh, doing well, man. So glad to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Appreciate it.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Man. Appreciate you.
For the people that don't know you, Reed, let them know where you're from and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I, grew up in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Awesome.
Right on the other side of the bridge of Charleston. So, it's turned into a pretty well-known area. But just kind of growing up, my parents played sports when they were younger. And I've kind of always been around sports. My mom played college basketball and college rugby. My dad actually went to play baseball at the University of South Carolina. And then just kind of decided he didn't want to play baseball anymore. So then he ended up playing college rugby. So that's how they met. And, that's I was raised around sports, played football, basketball, baseball, obviously growing up. And so that was, that's kind of about me and my upbringing.
Cool,
All
man. All right. Hey, so what age you start playing sports, and what sport was your first love growing up in South Carolina?
Ooh, yeah. I'd probably say I was at least doing something that had to do with sports since I could walk. We always had footballs, basketballs, baseballs, even soccer balls, around the house. And, it helps when I have a younger brother as well who, we're not that far apart in age. So, it was always a very competitive household. And to get to your point of which one I think was my first love, I'd probably say football was for a long time. But eventually just, getting hit in the head too many times. I played quarterback pretty much my whole life. And
okay.
I decided I probably had more of a future in baseball anyway.
For sure, man.
Cool, man. So growing up, man, playing quarterback, who was your favorite quarterback? Who inspired you to play quarterback?
It's good. It's probably every young kid my age answer. Tom Brady. Tom Brady was my favorite player to watch. But even now, like, even though I play baseball, I still watch a ton of football. And I'd say now, like, guys like a guy like Baker Mayfield just kind of plays with that chip on his shoulder. Plays that edge. I really, really like Baker Mayfield. I've liked him since he was at Texas Tech. Like, I watched him play one time when he was at Texas Tech, and I was like, oh man, this guy is insane.
You mean Oklahoma? I think he's.
No, he was at Texas Tech first.
First, okay, all right. And then went to Oklahoma. Okay.
And then he had to sit out a year for the transfer, and then played for Oklahoma. But yeah, I've been following him for a long time. So
okay, cool, man. All right. Did you play for any travel leagues in baseball?
Yeah. I played. Cal Ripken, rec ball, and I don't remember exactly when I started travel baseball. I think it was probably around 9 or 10. We had this local team that we started, and then it just kind of grew from there. I ended up playing most of my travel ball for the East Coast Baseball Academy based in West Ashley, South Carolina, with that was a great experience. I met so many good coaches and players through that. I'd give a shout out to Randy Carlson, the head of East Coast Baseball Academy, just for, kind of showing me the ropes and guiding me the right way when I was, 13, 14, 15, just kind of those areas. And then eventually ended up, I'm sure everybody has heard of the Canes organization, ended up playing with them my last 1.5 years of travel ball, and then obviously got to college. So
Okay.
Cool.
Yep. So growing up in like those younger years and in high school, did you go to like camps like Charleston Southern, the Citadel, South Carolina, in the springtime or early like late fall?
Yeah, all the time. I was at a bunch of Citadel camps. I went to a couple Charleston Southern camps, a couple College Charleston camps. But I actually never went to a South Carolina baseball camp, and that's weird because I pretty much grew up a South Carolina fan because my parents, obviously they went there and graduated from there, and so for the longest time I wanted to play there, but then I went to a Clemson baseball camp, um, and I want to say it was when Coach Leggett it might have been his last year. Um, before Coach Lee took over. I went to one of those camps and I was just blown away with the campus and like just everything around it. And I was like, I want to play baseball here one day. And so that kind of shifted I was, cheering for, South Carolina and pretty much every sport up until that point. And then it just kind of shifted and I was all Clemson. And so that's kind of how that worked.
All right.
Hey, so your first year in high school, did you play right away playing baseball?
Yeah, I did. I was I was fortunate enough to have a bunch of older guys who took me in, being the only freshman who made varsity my freshman year of high school. And I'd built some relationships with them the year before because I was an eighth grader playing JV and actually went up to varsity for the playoffs. But I mean, I wasn't going to play. And then freshman year, yeah, I got thrown into the fire pretty quick. We had one catcher go down, and so then I had to catch some. And then, they were like, "Hey, can you pitch?" Because I guess we were short on some arms, and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I've pitched my whole life. Sure, I can pitch," and I ended up pitching really well, especially for being a freshman in high school. So that's kind of when that whole all right pitcher catcher thing started, and I just continued that all the way through high school.
Okay. All right. So in high school, how old were you when you started calling your own games? Did the coach always give you signals, or did you start calling your own games pretty early?
Yeah, so my freshman year we had like a system. It was pretty. They gave you some leeway, but it was pretty much them. They were calling pitches. And then as I got older and more experienced, like my sophomore year, I was calling pitches. Junior year, I was calling pitches. Even on the mound, like when I wasn't catching, because I was a pitcher and a catcher, I knew what I wanted to throw, what situation. Um, and so I was, he'd throw down a sign, and if I didn't like it, I'd just call what I wanted. Like I'd just shake and have him put down another finger. So yeah, it started pretty early, which
Yep.
doesn't happen often nowadays.
Nah, it
Yeah.
doesn't. Yep.
Cool, man. So playing baseball in high school, who was the competition in the South Carolina area?
Yeah, we had some good competition. So Wando High School is a 5A school in South
Yep.
Carolina. It goes up to 5A here. So everybody we're playing's got Division One. Every team that we're playing's got Division One commits at the 5A level. Very rarely do you get a 5A team that doesn't have somebody going to play, or a couple guys going to play some sort of collegiate baseball, which, it. And I'm a firm believer of like, I mean, you look at all this stuff with the transfer portal, like these D2, D3 guys coming to D1 schools and actually and performing. Like, if you college baseball is obviously you got guys who throw harder, probably a little harder in certain things. You got more of those guys at the D1 level, but that doesn't mean D2, D3, JUCO, even NAIA schools can't compete. So I think getting an opportunity to play in college at all is awesome. And with the competition, it was always fierce. The rivalries in the Charleston area are pretty. They can get pretty rowdy. So
Yep.
it was always good competition.
Yeah. I remember growing up playing West Ashley and North Charleston. Talk about those teams. Like, who were some of the notable players in those area, and talk about your teammates a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I was fortunate enough to play against a lot of good competition from there. Oh man, that's been so long ago. I want to say everybody could really play in that area. Obviously Wando and Somerville has always been a huge rivalry.
Yep.
You had guys like Aiden Hunter, who's playing at College of Charleston right now. Cole Messina, who I believe is in the Rockies organization now. His brother Carson, I think, who's with the Blue Jays now. PJ Morlando, I think he's with Miami. So like those series were always super, super competitive. And then, my teammates, starting with, the seniors from my freshman year, like Davis Wilbur, Tyler Jones, Jacob Fisher, and there's so many more that I could name. But then you kind of get to the group that I was with almost all 4 years, and it's like Marshall Whitmer, who's playing at Georgetown now. My brother who played at the Citadel, and unfortunately an injury ended his career. So, there's plenty of guys. Ian Koss, one of my best friends, he played all 4 years. Caden Taylor played all 4 years. Evan Grant, guy who I played with since as long as I could remember. So that's kind of a shout out to some of those guys and all my teammates really in high school. We don't talk as much as we used to, but we still talk every now and then, and so it's kind of good to see what those guys are up to.
Okay. Well, I got some highlights from high school real quick. We're going to go ahead and get into it. Everybody watching, make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Deezer. Also follow us on Instagram. We have former catcher and now closing pitcher for Clemson Tigers, Mr. Reed Garris from Charleston, South Carolina area. Let's go ahead and get into this clip. Hey, Reed, stay with us. We don't own the rights to the clip or the music in it, okay? All right, got you warming up. Do you remember what game that was? I don't know what happened to the audio in there.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, that was actually one of the prospect camps that I did at Clemson, and that was kind of me warming up before that first inning that I pitched. Actually, fun fact about that video, I had literally just caught probably like 5 innings before that, so I was a little fatigued. I won't lie.
Okay.
At that point, it was just kind of trying to get it over the plate, just let them at least put it in play, not walk everybody. But that's kind of where that video comes from. Is it was a prospect camp for Clemson, and it just so happened to be a pretty good day that day.
All right.
Yeah, man. Well, playing baseball in high school, how far are y'all going to playoffs, and how do y'all do in high school?
Yeah, so my freshman year we actually got all the way to the lower state semifinals. Yeah, semifinals, and then ended up losing to Lexington.
Yeah.
Just a heartbreaker. I think it was like 3-2. We had a chance to win it and just couldn't find a way to win. But then sophomore year, we made the playoffs. Ended up going 2-0. It was just bad deal there. Just didn't play very well those two. And then obviously my junior year, COVID happened, so we didn't really even get to play that year. Got to play maybe like 7 games, and then it just kind of fizzled out. Nobody could go anywhere, play anything. So, and then my senior year, we actually won. So we did I don't even, maybe district is what it was called. I think it was district. We made that. It's like the first round before you go to the lower state, and we I think we played. I don't remember who we played first, but we ended up beating them, and then we played Somerville and lost to them. And that one was kind of like we should have won that game. That we had some of our best plays that game, and just didn't really win that. Get a chance to win that one, and then we ended up playing. Played somebody. I don't remember who that other team was, but we played them, beat them, and so then we had to beat Somerville twice. And I want to say we beat them the first time and then just couldn't win that second game. So it was just kind of a heartbreaking way to finish your senior year. And that was probably the team that could have won the state championship. We just had so many guys who could play, and just when it mattered, we just couldn't find a way. So.
All right. So after your season in high school, did you play in the league called Legion Ball? Did you play any Legion Ball?
I did not.
Okay.
We actually were instructed to come early for it's like the freshmen come in early here when we get here, kind of go through like an off-season workout program with our strength coach and kind of get accustomed to all that. So that's what happened there.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about the recruiting process. Coming out of high school, what other schools was looking at you at the time? I know Clemson was one of them.
Yeah. So pretty much every school in the state of South Carolina, College of Charleston, Citadel, Clemson, South Carolina, Charleston Southern. I talked to some. Most of those smaller schools figured they probably didn't have a chance just because some of the bigger schools had offered. But the one school that I really want to shout out is the United States Air Force Academy out in Colorado Springs. That was probably the best official visit I ever took. And I mean, I didn't technically take an official visit really anywhere else, maybe a couple other places, but I went out there and I was just blown away with how beautiful it is out there, and what they do every day, and just what they're doing it for. They're doing it for our country. And so, I remember, I think it might have been on September 11th. Like, I think I had my visit like September 2nd, and it was like September 11th, and I remember telling my mom, I was like, man, I think I'm gonna commit to go there. Like, I think I'm gonna commit to go there. Like, I was super, very, very nationalistic there. Like, I was, ready to, but she was like, maybe we should hold off. And this was actually before Clemson gave me an opportunity.
Okay.
But,
okay.
So she was like, just hold off. Let's see what happens. And I think a couple months later, Clemson ended up calling, and it was pretty quick. Once I got the call from them, it's like that's where I want to be. But Coach Kaz out there and Coach Forrest, who's at Boston College now, and just their whole coaching staff, all their players were awesome. Just on that visit, and I still talk to Coach Kaz every now and then, maybe once or twice a year, just see how he's doing. Same thing with Coach Forrest. We actually played Boston College last year, and I knew he'd gone there. So I got a nice picture with him and just asked him how he was doing, how his family was doing. So that was good. It was good to see those guys again, because those are like, especially with a school like that and those kind of people, like those are relationships you build forever. So it's always good to have those relationships too. So
Yeah, man, good stuff.
So, were some of those schools recruiting you for both catcher and pitcher, or just mainly catcher or pitcher?
it was mainly catcher or pitcher. The only one, there was a couple actually who were like, yeah, we'll let you do both, but we don't think catching and pitching at the college level is sustainable, obviously for health reasons. And now looking back on that, I completely agree. Like that's the reason, that's really one of the main reasons that, I actually ended up just pitching. I was like, I remember just being like, okay, what would help what does our ball club need at this point? And it was pitching. So I was like, okay, we'll stick to pitching and we'll just master that. And still obviously haven't mastered it, but I think I've done a pretty good job, and I've had plenty of resources and older guys help along the way. But yeah, most of it was like, yeah, you can come here and catch, and we'll let you maybe pitch every now and then, or you can come here and pitch and maybe play like third base or DH or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of how that process was.
Yeah, man. Hey, talk about your first year at Clemson. Did you play right away, or you redshirted, or
Yeah,
you made
so
an impact right away?
yeah, so I actually was out the whole freshman fall with a back injury. I think I had a stress reaction or fracture or whatever. I don't know. Don't know all the details. That feels like ages ago, to be honest. But so I missed that whole fall, and then kind of came back in the spring. And there was two other older catchers in front of me. I didn't think I was going to get much playing time, but I figured I'd sneak in like in a blowout or something like that. And one of the guys in front of me, who's actually in Double A with the Guardians right now, he's turned out to be one of my better friends. He ended up getting hurt towards the end of the year, and I remember Coach Lee came up to me like at the beginning of the year and was like, "Hey, do you want a red shirt, or do you want to catch in some of these, like late in some of these games that we're up or down a lot?" And I'm like, "I don't want a red shirt. I want to get experience, stuff like that." But going back to he ended up getting hurt, and then maybe 2 weeks later, the other catcher who was catching every game ended up, I think he hit it, like grounded into a double play or something in the first inning of the last home series that we had, and pulled his hamstring pretty good. And so then it was like, oh, I'm the only catcher left on the roster. I'm going in there, and I haven't taken an at bat all season. So that was, defensively, I felt like I was ready. I just remember going up there and seeing pitching for the first time in a while and being like, whoa, okay, that was quick. But,
yeah. So let me ask you, what was your throwdown time from catcher home plate?
Oh Lord. I could probably get it there pretty quick. I got a pretty good arm, and I got pretty quick feet. If you ever watch me pick somebody off or try to pick somebody off at first base, you'd be like, yeah, he was a catcher. Just quick jump shift with feet. I'd probably say maybe I'd probably be like a two flat, maybe a couple 1.9s in there.
Okay.
Sprinkled in there. But I'd say I was probably, I don't know, man, it's so long ago.
Yeah.
But now I'd probably be like, yeah, actually, I was like a 1.75 down there, but that's a complete exaggeration. So,
yeah. Man.
All right. Cool, man. Hey, so playing baseball for the Tigers, who is the competition in the ACC?
Oh man, just everybody in the ACC is good. Everybody's got some dogs, but it's been a little different every year. Every year I feel like it gets a little different. Some teams that may not swing the bat well one year come out the next year, and it's like, holy cow, where'd they get these guys? It changes every year, but the competition's always good. It's baseball, anybody can beat anybody on any given day, and
Oh,
that's it's one of the only sports where it's like there's so much failure involved that you really can't. It's not like if it's not like if Alabama football was playing, who did they play this year? They played Western Kentucky. All right, Alabama's going to probably score 50, 60 points.
exactly.
Yeah, off top. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like but like if they played baseball, it's a whole different story. All it takes is for the guy on the mound to have an unbelievable day,
There you go.
and that's how it works.
Yep.
Darn. All right.
Yep.
I never knew that. Appreciate that.
Yep. So, playing at Clemson, I know you have a lot of teammates that's probably MLB prospects. Let me ask you this. What is your favorite field to play on besides Tiger Stadium? And also, what is your favorite pitch? What is your signature pitch?
Okay. My favorite field to play on, actually, I've only played on it once. I've only pitched on it once, but it's by far the best pitcher's mound I've ever been on, best field I've ever been on. And we went to the college baseball Shriners Showdown to start the year this year in Texas. And the Texas Rangers stadium is unbelievable. Like, it's just next level. And I can see why big leaguers would just, be fortunate enough to play on something like that every day. Like, it's insane. But obviously, there's so many good places to play. And, but that one time on that mound was like, I was like, this is the best thing I've ever been on. Like, it was just awesome. But, as it should be, it's Major League Baseball stadium. So,
Yeah.
but then, I would just say my signature pitch is, it has and probably always will be just the most standard pitch in the game, the 4-seam fastball. It just, I can control it very well. I get some pretty good carry on the ball, and it just, throwing it at the top of the zone, it's tough to hit sometimes, and then just everything else that I throw just kind of plays off of it. So.
Well, I got some clips that I want to show where you playing at Clemson. I think you got a nice little slider you slid in on one of these batters. Well, if everybody that's watching, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Spotify, Deezer, and Instagram, and also on Facebook. We have current pitcher for Clemson Tigers, Reed Garris, all right? We don't own the rights to this video. Stay with us, Reed.
Clemson has advanced to the NCAA Super Regionals, and a Lowcountry native is doing his part to help the Tigers' postseason run. Wando alum Reed Garris played catcher for a while at Clemson, then switched to the mound as a relief pitcher in 2023. He was on the bump yesterday for 3 innings of work as the Tigers beat Coastal Carolina 12-5. And for Reed, position doesn't matter, whatever it takes.
My role is based on like what the team needs. So, and I'm willing to, if I need to go into a game to close a game out, if that's what we need, I can do that. If I, typically I'm usually more of like a, maybe 1 inning, maybe 2 innings. Last night was probably a rarity. I don't think I've ever gone 3 innings in college.
Now, during his career at Wando, Reed spent time on the mound and behind the plate as well. His former coach, Dirk Thomas, telling me this afternoon that Garris's dedication and his ability to work on his weaknesses has made a big difference, and his success is celebrated.
Everybody wants him to succeed, and they're genuinely happy for him. And that's quite the accomplishment to have that many people genuinely happy for you and all your accomplishments that he's having up in Clemson.
Yeah, we back. So, Reed, you playing catcher and pitcher makes you a big commodity in MLB. Yeah, so I know you got a lot of players that's really good, especially your outfielder out there in Clemson to make that wonderful catch last season. You guys got the bats rolling against Florida. It was one of the best games I watched in the College World Series. Talk about that experience a little bit.
Yeah, just you know, we've got guys on this team and on past teams who are just they're unbelievable. You mentioned our center fielder Cam Canarella and the catch he made against Florida in the Super Regional. It was probably the greatest play I've ever seen. Just given the stakes of it and
Yes,
like
sir.
what was fine. If that ball drops, the game's
Game
over
over.
way earlier than it actually ended up being over. But um, like stuff like that is just like, especially now, like our defense makes some incredible plays. We have our whole infield is really really good. Obviously Cam in center, and then our corner outfielders are really good too. I mean, we got a bunch of dudes on our baseball team, and the amount of times I've seen our third baseman Josh Payno make a diving play and then get up and throw an absolute missile across the diamond to
Wing
get
it.
a out is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But and just like even like our coaches encourage our guys to make highlight reel plays in our training sessions. Like it's probably unlike a lot of other places in the country, and I think that's what makes us so special. So
Yeah, man. Hey, talk about the ACC tournaments. Through the years, and anyone coming up soon, or have y'all
yeah,
started?
yeah,
Okay.
probably I don't know how many weeks, probably three, 4 weeks, maybe something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
But we got yeah. So actually, my first time in the ACC tournament. There's my freshman year as a catcher. I think we just snuck in. Ended up losing both games, so we were out pretty quick. And then the next year under Coach Bakich and our staff, when they came in, we started out really really rough. I think we were 14-17
Mm-hmm.
at the time, and like 2-8 in the conference, and ended up 20-10 in the conference, and like 44-19 overall or something like that, and ended up winning that tournament. Won the ACC tournament, which was just awesome. I'll never forget that. That was probably definitely one of the highlights of my career here. And then last year, just you know, kind of lost a heartbreaker to Miami, and the way the format was, if Miami went 2-0 and we went 1-1, like they kind of did pool play. So whoever had if everybody went 1-1 against each other, then the highest seeded team moves on. But I think Miami ended up beating us and Louisville, so it didn't matter kind of what happened. But then we had an unbelievable comeback against Louisville in our second game, even though it was technically a consolation game, if you want to say that. But
Yeah.
given our history with Louisville, us and Louisville don't really like each other, at least the last couple of years I've been here. So yeah, it's it was nice to kind of just be like, hey, you're going 0-2 in this tournament.
Ted.
So let me ask you, out of the two conferences, ACC and SEC, I know you guys are rivals with the Gamecocks. Who else is your rivals, and who do you mark on your calendar when you get ready to play? Like you just can't wait to play them.
Georgia,
Okay.
without Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia's always one of those teams that's they're good, and it's it's always fun to play them too. I love playing at their place personally. I like the atmosphere they bring. Their fans actually got some of the best trash talk I think I've ever heard. Out of trash talk. There's some places that we go and they're like fans try to talk trash, and it's terrible. Like it's
Yeah.
like that doesn't even make sense. But Georgia will pull out some good ones. South Carolina's pulled out some good ones too. But I like as far as circling the calendar, SEC teams go. I mean, it's obviously South Carolina and Georgia. Those are just the two that we're probably going to end up playing every year, and those are always exciting.
Yep.
Cool, man. Hey, so how fast do you throw the fastball? What's your top speed on that?
So in Texas, I got up to 97, but since then it's kind of just hung around 93, 94, maybe a couple 95s every now and then. But obviously, as you throw more, velocity is going to probably end up going up. So just keep on throwing, and hopefully by postseason we see that magic number 97 come back. That was cool.
All right, man. Cool. We root for that.
We always have a joke now because of how that happened in Texas. It's more of like a big league mound, big league stuff, I guess.
Yeah,
since you play catcher and pitcher, when you're in the lineup pitcher, do you still get the bat?
No.
Okay.
I put down the bat a while ago.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I did not like hitting, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hitting in college is
understand.
so much harder than hitting in high school. Like, everybody throws 90 plus in college, realistically. And in high school, you get the one guy who throws 90 every now and then, and so you just sit on the fastball. Now it's like, oh gosh, I gotta face a guy who's throwing 94, 95 with a slider at 88 that just is like a bullet slider, and you kind of just close your eyes and swing. I don't know how hitters do it, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Hey man, so which one do you like the most? You like night games or you like day games?
I love playing at night. Playing at night is so much better in my
opinion.
For real.
Yeah.
I like the primetime games. I like when the lights are bright and there's 5 to 15,000 fans. Like I love playing in front of people, even if it's not my home crowd.
Yeah. It's like you said, man. Like, unlike other sports, you can actually hear the people talking trash to you in baseball, other than football and basketball. There's so much going on in the arenas. But when the baseball games come, you cross that line, you can hear somebody's father, somebody heckler in the stands. Oh, he just made an error. I mean, I'm trying to embarrass you. So we're gonna go ahead and get into another clip. This is basically a highlight of 2024 season. I know you guys are about to wrap up the regular season here in a little bit and then walk into the ACC tournament. For everybody that's watching, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Spotify, Deezer, Instagram, and Facebook. We have current pitcher Reed Garris, closer for the Clemson Tigers. All right, let's go ahead and get into it and stay with us, Reed.
The Tigers, the comeback kids, have evened the score.
And for the first time since 2010, the Tigers going to a super regional.
I came in with a new 40.
Called strike 3, just paints the blank. High fly ball, center field, back to center fielder at the wall. Blake Wright tied it with a grand slam. Are you kidding me? Deep to right. We are tied in Clemson.
In the air center, Panarella back on it, Terrace reaching, and he got it.
Ground ball, nice snag. Hinderleiter to purify the turn. What a beauty. Hit well, left center field, doesn't have enough. Brewer back to the wall, look it up. We'll see you tomorrow. The defensive heroes. High fly ball to left. Magpie back. It's out. Tigers lead 12-10. And Doug Kingsmore Stadium erupts.
So 1-1 pitch, and that one's hit well to left field. Ferrer back on it. You gotta be kidding me! He did it again. Another grand slam for Wright, and the Tigers have come all the way back again and lead by 2. First pitch, swinging a drive, left field. Back is Benson. It's gone. Jimmy Overtop has tied the game with a 3-run homer in the air.
Called strike 3.
And it's lined into right field, a base hit. Run only way. Here comes Overtop. And the Tigers walk it off for a second time today against Florida State. This one could have Miracle put next to it. Squeezes on. Kinderleiter comes home. A second runner trying to score. And safe.
He's in the lineup, but he has been a game changer. This one's out to center field. It is deep. It is oh my goodness! Laced and off the glove. Blake Wright had to hold up for a minute. They're going to wave him home as the right fielder slips and Clemson wins it in walk-off fashion.
Out to right field and hit well. Gracia will watch it go. The Tigers take the lead in the 10th.
Hits this one in the air to left. Is this it? It is. Becerra makes the catch. And for the first time since 2010, the Tigers go into a super regional.
All right.
Got a good team, man. I got a good team.
So I know you guys' goal is to make it all the way to the World Series. Who you think will be the toughest opponent this year coming up through the ACC and getting to the Super Regionals again?
I mean, there's a lot of good teams out there. I think this series this weekend against Florida State's a very pivotal one. And I think it's number 3 versus number 5, so it's top 5 matchup, and it's grab your popcorn because it's going to be a good one.
All right, man.
Yes, sir. All right. You guys play tomorrow. What time?
6 p.m.
And then you got another one on Sunday?
We play tomorrow at 6, Saturday at 6, and Sunday at 2, I believe.
Okay, cool.
Hey, man, what's your message for the youth?
Just kind of, keep working hard. Work hard. Don't overdo it, and just have fun. I think the biggest thing nowadays is, young kids get so caught up in trying to succeed in the game of baseball, and I think the most important thing at certain young ages is just to have fun with it. It doesn't start getting serious till you start getting to around 16, 17, and then you kind of need to, maybe you need to, just set realistic expectations for yourself.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
But like for young kids, just have fun, enjoy the time with your friends, enjoy time going to the games. Because I remember when I was their age, I especially like going to I just remember how like awesome it was when a college player would sign my ball or sign my glove or something like that. Like that meant the world to me, and that's kind of why I try to get as many kids as I can sign some of their stuff if they want it signed and different things like that. But my biggest message to the youth is just to have fun and enjoy it, enjoy life.
Yeah, because as they get older, it's gonna become a business, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate to be able to play. We talk about it here all the time. We're just playing a kid's game. Like that's all it is. Game.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
Any shout outs before we head out, Reed?
Just every single one of my teammates, every single one of my coaches, and my parents, grandparents for raising me right, and taking me to places that I needed. I was fortunate enough to go to, and anybody, all my friends, close friends, just everybody that's kind of in my circle that I love, and shout out you guys for having me on.
So
yeah, that's all I got.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, is there any other people you recommend to come on the shows, just like yourself? Another baseball player or whatever?
I'm sure there's plenty. Could probably get my roommate, honestly. He
okay.
so yeah.
But tell them to connect with KJ, and we'll try to set them up and get them on, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
most
sure.
definitely.
No problem, man. Hey, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today. Good luck this weekend, man.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully you get
Yeah.
to shut the door on them and succeed and climb up the ladder so you can get that great seed in the ACC tournament. And good luck in the World Series too. I think you guys still have a solid team and you can probably make some things happen. All right. I know this is your last year, right?
Yeah, this will be it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And we'll
man.
probably see you in the big leagues, man. You know, probably at third base, catcher, or pitcher.
You already know, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
We appreciate you coming on the show. Tell the team good luck. And for all the Clemson Tiger fans that's watching, we appreciate you guys tuning in. You watch a new edition of the Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter. I'd like to thank my main man, KJ, former Clemson 99 and 2002 cornerback for the Clemson Tigers. And today's special guest, give a big shout out to the Clemson Tiger baseball team on their trip to Florida State. They have 3 games ahead of them tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. You can probably catch them on ESPN or whatever your local station is. Reed, it was a pleasure. For everybody's watching, you know our motto, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Until next time, we'll see you later. Peace.
All right. Appreciate you, Reed, man.
Yeah,
Go
of course,
Tigers.
guys.
All right, no problem, man. Appreciate it, Reed.
Yeah, have a good one.